what's keeping this administration going is the big lie and the media's acceptance of the big lie.
What is happening? Something is going on. Can you feel the way?
Hi, welcome to Spiral Into It. I'm Fisk Smith. This is the second part of a two-part episode with activist Carol Brouillet. Activist Carol Brouillet is perhaps one of this country's strongest voices for peace and justice. Her daily commitment of dissent and protest is a standard of commitment high and away above any you will ever see. For years, Carol has been demonstrating and speaking out on the issues of globalization, money and wealth, and what really happened on 9/11, among other important topics. Let's listen to this fearless lady, and you will see why she is the poster girl for reasonable dissent in the USA. What is happening? What's going on? Can you feel the way? What is real wealth?
Well, what do you think money is? I mean, at this moment in time, money is a fiction, it's a belief. It's created out of thin air by bankers, and it's loaned out to people at interest. It's a little nugget of information, basically. There's nothing of real substance or value backing it other than our belief that it will buy us a pizza or a book or an airline ticket. But its value is changing all the time, especially since 1973 when Nixon took us off of the gold standard, the exchange standard, and all currencies just started floating in relation to one another. Mm-hmm. And since then, we should be careful here because I could go on for hours about this. But in 1973, of the foreign exchange transactions, 2% of them had to do with speculation, 98% were real goods and services. That has completely reversed. Right now, the foreign exchange transactions, the amount of money that's just whirling around the globe right now, every day, trillions of dollars, 98% of it is speculative, 2% has to do with real goods and services.
Yes.
And so this is just wiping out economies right and left. Russia, Brazil, Southeast Asia, Mexico. The United States could also suffer from this flow, these tides, these currents. And it's just simply our belief in the strength of the dollar, the strength of the yen, that maintains the value of that currency. And I think, it's very artificially created and it's something that's very fragile and can fall apart at any time. In fact, if we look at the attacks of September 11th, you could also see that we were going into a global economic crisis, and in some ways it was, a crime on many different levels, but it was also a heist because of the foreknowledge of those events. Some people made like $15 billion, which doesn't seem like a whole lot of money, but still, it's a significant amount of money from insider knowledge and trades at various places around the world.
In your work, you've stated, the illusion that money is wealth needs to be shattered. Could you explain that?
Well, I would say real wealth is just healthy relationships between one person, another person, between oneself and one's family, oneself and the community, and people around the world. And the relationship between a person and the natural world, healthy relationships between us and the ecosystems upon which we depend. Mm-hmm. That, and actually, I was about to get married when I was 25. I was in Switzerland, and we're just about to get married, and they told me my fiance had this huge tumor in the center of his brain, and they didn't think he'd survive the weekend. And we had been very insulated, both of our lives, because we both had lots of money. And all of a sudden, you realize that money isn't quite the security blanket and the buffer between you and reality. It's just, I think confronting death, just facing it, and our own, physical demise, it changes the way you value life, and destroys that illusion about money, how important it is or how valuable it is.
Well, what are real community currencies, and how does building community currencies really create wealth?
Well, if you can create community currencies and create community at the same time, and you help improve the relationships within the community and help people to just simply raise consciousness and see to their relationship with their own local surroundings. I actually believe that community currencies are most useful as a consciousness-raising tool to help people understand money and the dynamics, the invisible dynamics behind the debt-based system and how the money flows out of the community. Community currencies you keep within a locality. You can't extract wealth and take it off to distant corporations or use it to finance wars. And you could also look at it as energy too, because a lot of a community's wealth is siphoned out by the cost of the energy that they consume. And so if you keep that energy within the community, it could help make the community simply a better place. It can't be siphoned away. Home Depot, Walmart, any giant corporation which is using third world labor and taking resources at an obscenely low price. Because what I was saying before about the flow of currencies, there's an artificial rate of exchange, so that when we consume goods here in the United States, we don't see the real costs of those goods. Those prices have been manipulated. The dollar is outrageously strong compared to other currencies where we've really forced the price of those their money down and been able to just basically loot that country's labor and resources for pennies on the dollar. So we steal these resources and labor basically at this outrageously low price and bring it to the United States, and places like Home Depot, Walmart, Penny, Sears, they sell these products. And I'm sure you've gone into Target and said, oh gosh, I can't believe I could buy this whole chair for $5. I mean, I could never buy the materials to make it or spend the amount of time sewing this to create something like this for $5. It's just an obscenely low price. I can buy it, I can afford it. And so you do. But what you don't see are the extraction of those resources, the exploitation of those people that is happening in the third world country. And what you also don't see is how local people aren't able to compete with, slave labor and these extractive industries in third world countries. So it's almost impossible for anyone locally to create a chair for $5 that they could sell and actually live on that amount of money. It's just about impossible. So you basically destroy the local production capacity. One of the problems about the whole monetary system, a debt-based system, it concentrates wealth and power while destroying the earth in the process. And what we in this Orwellian world where they talk about free markets and free trade, what it is monopoly capitalism, where those dominant players, the ones who can corner the market, who have the biggest economic muscle, which is backed by military muscle, basically, they can just destroy and kill all their competitors.